What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another reaction video. So today we're going to be checking out a little different video. So this is an interview of Lifeson on a RORY Gallagher. So we already know they are two of the greatest guitarists to ever work on this earth. So I'm excited to check out what they are speaking about Alex and what they're speaking about RORY Gallagher in this video. And yeah, this video is requested by my good friend Space Cowboy over there on Patreon. So thank you so much for requesting this video and thank you so much for supporting the channel. Alex Lifeson of Rush remembers RORY Gallagher.
I think it was during the Taste period. I was really impressed with Rory's playing as a guitarist. I mean, blues based, but he was in a lot of ways a great rock guitarist. He had so much energy in his playing. And he wasn't the typical blues
on
player.
The RORY Gallagher
he had a
channel,
style that was all his own, and it was a reflection of his soul, truly. And
yeah,
his vocals and his guitar playing together made for this really, really special thing that very, very few people have. Well, that was our first tour, so we were doing a lot of kind of sporadic dates. We had some club dates mixed in that we were headlining, small, bars. But we did some dates with some other bands that we really looked up to. Nazareth was one, and then Rory, playing with Rory was a real treat. It was in the fall of 1974. We did a cross Canada tour, I think, with some dates in the States and the Northwest Coast and into Los Angeles. And, you know, we're 20 years old. This is our first tour. It's so exciting. We didn't know our place, so we tried to stay in the background and be polite as possible and not be a bunch of dicks, basically. And right from the get-go.
I actually checked out, so it was also requested by Space Cowboy, so thank you so much about that. So we actually checked out, then if so, then I checked out one of the first Rush tours, one of the first concerts of their first tour, ABC Recordings Live in Cleveland in 1974. Part of that video, part of that song, Working Man, I think we released it like a couple of days ago. So we released recently. That was interesting. I didn't know that was the first tour of Rush ever.
The whole band, but Rory especially, they were so hospitable and accommodating, and you know, they let us do an encore if we happened to get an encore, and a lot of bands didn't do that with their opening acts in that time, and they were very approachable. So we got to spend some time. I would watch Rory every night. We were the opening act on a 3-act show, so we were only on usually for about 20 minutes or half an hour or something. But I would watch his set and go back to the dressing room and just play, just because I was so inspired by watching him play. Like, the guy, honest to God, his soul was just amazing, and to see him close his eyes and just get lost in his playing was
like
truly,
one hell of
truly
an
remarkable.
experience, I guess.
Wow.
Wow.
But in '82, Rory opened for us. You know, we had moving pictures and things were really, you know, going gangbusters for us. There was an offer of Rory to open for a tour, and we were like absolutely all over it. And we ended up doing about 3 months together in that period in '82. And that's when I really got to know him. And we spent a lot of time together, like free time on a day off. He would come by and we would sit and talk for hours and maybe drink a little bit too much and whatever else. But this was a pattern, and we played, and there was so much respect for them, and we returned the favor. We made sure that they got everything that they ever needed on any show, complete freedom to do whatever they wanted. We were so honored to have them out with us. And he and I talked about all kinds of things, politics and family, and you know, he being from Ireland and the sectarian divisions in Ireland, and my ancestors coming from the former Yugoslavia and the same sort of issues there. We spent hours and hours talking about that sort of stuff. He bought me a copy of Flann O'Brien's The Third Policeman, and I was really touched by that he would
That's a familiar name.
think
I think
to do that. And
I think Space Cowboy,
he
you
said,
mentioned
you got to read
about
The Secret Satirist,
right?
and
Flann
his
O'Brien?
books are great, and it really gives you an eye
Maybe,
for
yeah.
that Irish humor and where it comes from. And I read the book, and I got back to him, days later, I guess, and said I really enjoyed it. We had a bit of a break. He went back to Ireland and then came back to North America. He bought me the whole series and gave me the whole series of books. He said, if you like that one so much, read these. You'll love them as well. That was the kind of guy he was. It wasn't just about
Sweet
the
fella,
music and
yes.
the band and his guitar and
Much
all
more.
of that stuff. It was his personality and his soul, and he was so thoughtful and considerate to other people, so polite. Honestly, he was such a wonderful person. Never mind his talents and skills. He was just a really, really great man. And you can use a lot more like that. Yeah, I think there's a book coming out on every single date that we ever played, and I don't even remember them or know them. But and most of the tours that we were playing in those first few
think I
months
heard that
were
song
small
by RORY.
theater venues. They were probably kind of like Massey Hall, sort of 2,000 to 3,500 seaters. And I have very, very fond memories because you're a little more intimate with your audience. Those halls usually sound really, really good. There was a particular vibe and energy in them that was really conducive to starting out. Yeah. You know what I mean? You get to the arena phase and you're there for years and you kind of forget what it was like to do those
definitely.
sort of smaller gigs. I feel clearly I'm influenced by him, and I was from a very early time. He had this way of getting harmonics from a guitar pick by just picking it a certain way, and I'd never heard anyone do that, ever. And I heard it all over his stuff. And I thought, wow, what an effective thing to do, and what a cool thing to learn how to do. And I mean, I employ that little trick in all my stuff all the time, and I learned it directly from him.
From the master himself.
Sure looks like it. That guitar's pretty beaten up. I can't remember if he had any other instruments that he played, any other guitars that he
His
played.
guitar,
there's a whole history for that 61 Strat.
Very used.
Yeah,
and I think you
originally
guys
ordered
also,
an orange
Joe
one,
commented me
a
about
red one,
it.
I think, and
About
that,
why is it happening
Sunburst
to
one was the
Rory's
one that
guitar.
ended up coming, and that was his first guitar. Did he have a love affair with that guitar? I'm guessing probably most of us
Probably, yes.
do, who have one particular instrument that we're
Definitely.
very close to.
We love it with all our life,
I just don't remember if we did or not, and it's quite possible that we did. I mean, we were always at the gig early for the little limited sound check that we get. I think when we opened for him, probably not. Maybe later when they opened, we might have 2 different lines, setups. It's not always the case. I don't recall ever sort of jamming in a hotel room or anything like that. Certainly, Rush's influence came from many of those anglicized blues bands that came up in the late 60s, the Yardbirds, Led Zeppelin, of course.
Led Zeppelin, hell yeah.
And the theft of all the blues music that's connected to them. But that was certainly our big influence at the time. And what we progressed to is what we progressed to. But I think for most rock bands,
Progressive
that's
rock.
kind of where it comes. Certainly for
Guess it's
guitars,
a little fun.
those are the licks you learn. I mean, I spent a lot of time learning Eric Clapton's solos from the Cream period. And Spoonful was actually the first solo that I learned how to play by picking up the needle and putting it back down and playing the solo over again on my sister's little crappy $9 record player. But to learn those licks and those scales are really, really important, I think, for all guitar players. I'm sure anyone that you speak to would say that. I'm not sure. There's a purity in his playing.
Yeah, definitely. There's
People talk
something
about his guitar
it.
playing all the time.
I love the way Rory plays.
He was spectacular. And I hear so much of Phil Lynott in Rory's vocals. And he was a big influence on all those Irish bands. I mean, U2 cite him, like every member in the band cites him as a huge influence.
U2?
And certainly when they
that
saw
is an Irish
Rory
band.
play, they were pretty young and very impressionable. So I could see that he would have a huge impact. I mean, because really, in the early 70s, he was regarded as one of the greatest guitar players around. Many comparisons to Hendrix. Even Hendrix said, when he was asked who's the greatest guitar player in the world, he said, I don't know, go ask RORY Gallagher. So that was the kind of reputation that he had, although he was completely humble. He would never, ever acknowledge that. As a vocalist and as that guitar player, it just speaks of the kind of talent that resided in that little man, and coupled with his amazing character, what a package he was as a human being.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. We were in Dublin once. We only played Dublin once. I'd never made it there. And I remember hearing about his death and just being shocked by it. And so I regretted not going for his funeral or for the wake that I'm sure they had. But there was probably lots of company for his going away party. I'm doing a lot of session stuff. When I say session, I've been guesting on other people's records. I just finished a thing with Jeff Berlin. It's a Jack Bruce, actually, and Jack played with RORY. It's a Jack Bruce tribute album, and the thing that I did was a Cream medley. And that was really, really a lot of fun, revisiting that stuff. And it made me think, and at the same time I was thinking about RORY and all of this other stuff, and kind of getting a little nostalgic.
Wow, that was so interesting and so inspiring to watch. Obviously, I love blues guitar. It's like there is some magic in them. I don't know, like Stevie, like RORY. It's just, I don't know, man. There's some magic you can't explain within them. And I've also said it during the, I think, is it posted yet? I don't know. I will have to check the calendar. But the recent RORY Gallagher song I checked is Sugar Mama, and I mentioned how like you can literally see from their face what they are playing. Like they feel every note, every bit of the sound the instrument is making. Like they become one with the guitar when they play. Like it's so beautiful to see. The internet is amazing because even though I'm just like I'm from the 2000s, from the 21st century, like I am able to enjoy all this great music, and I'm like I have the opportunity to share with you guys here as well. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being along with this amazing music journey. And yeah, that was my reaction to the Alex Lifeson interview on RORY Gallagher. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. And yeah, a big shout out for Space Cowboy for requesting this video, and a big shout out for supporting the channel and also introducing Rush as well. So as always, a big shout out to all the Patreon heroes for supporting the channel. So big thank you to Space Cowboy, Joe Church, Jimbo, Treyman, Ilda, Ramirez, Jimmie, Susan, Wenwei, Taylor Armac, Brad Baker, HiddenEye, Shadowship, and Lauren Hunter for supporting the channel. And if you'd like to request songs and videos just like this, head over there on the Patreon, link is down in the description. And make sure to comment down your thoughts regarding Alex and RORY, and maybe comment down your favorite guitarist down in the comment section. I'm very curious to know about what you guys think of music. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Till then, peace.